Oh boy, here we go. We have the Medicom Toy Mafex number 223, the Marvel Daredevil comic figure. This one is very exciting. The Spider-Man figures are awesome. I just took a look at Captain America, the comic version. That was great. The MCU figures have been really good. The Deadpool X-Force figure surprised me. Jean Grey Phoenix figure was nice. So the comic figures are definitely growing on me, and I'm really looking to expand. So now that I got Spider-Man, I've got a couple of X-Men characters, picked up Captain America. It sucks that I missed out on the Iron Man figure. I may get Thor again if it ends up on a good sale again. But we'll see. But this Daredevil figure is one of the most highly anticipated figures in my opinion, and I think he came out great. A lot of folks have done some awesome reviews, awesome photos. I can tell you right now, I will not be able to probably do as much cool stuff with those batons and the bendy wire that they were able to do. They made it look all like swirling around and everything. I might try one, but bear with me as I am not the greatest at that. Looking at the package, I love the little comic strip that they put up there, which is awesome. You can see all the logos and everything. Number 223 in the Mafex line. Get a look at the figure on the back. On the side, and then here on the back you can see Daredevil comes with 3 different head sculpts. We got the batons and everything there, and you've got some different poses and stuff for Daredevil, so really excited about him. I got mine from Big Bad Toy Store, so shout out to them. Unfortunately, he is currently sold out. So the pre-order sold out. So at no point did it look like he was actually in stock. So that's why it's very important to make sure you get your pre-orders in. Jubilee just went up for pre-order. I'll have a link in the video description below for that, as well as the other Mafex and Marvel Mafex figures. Links in the video description below. I don't know at the time that this video is going to go live if Captain America is still available, but at the time of recording, and I'm just recorded 3 videos in a row, the Captain America comic version had 18 substandard in stock and 7 collector grade in stock, no standard grade in stock. So there's only 25 of that Captain America left. So I'll have a link in the video description below in case that is still in stock. If this happens to pop up, make sure you're following me on Instagram. Follow my broadcast channel. I will always post links and do in-stock alerts and all of that there. So make sure you're following me on Instagram, and make sure you're subscribed here. Help me reach my goal of 50,000 subscribers. I'm getting really close, and I can use you guys' help. In fact, the next clip, I'm going to say the same exact thing because I'm just used to it at this point. So here we go. Just kidding, not the next clip. Hey, the inside of this box has got some comic panels and stuff in there. That is super cool. The other Mafex figures have not done that. That is a nice touch. That is really awesome. And it's crazy that this actually came out basically the same time as the comic Captain America figure, which is number 217. This is 223, so that's 6 ahead. But that doesn't have comic panel artwork in the inside. This one does, so that is really cool. Alright guys, if you're a fan of the channel, if you like my action figure reviews and want to help me reach my goal of 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year and haven't already, please make sure to hit that subscribe button now. Okay, so here we have the Daredevil figure out of the package, and yeah, really, really good. Really, 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 really good. Maybe even better than Spider-Man. Maybe. The argument would be Spider-Man is my favorite character, so therefore wins the argument as far as better figure. But Daredevil could take it. Like, Spider-Man is good, but man, Daredevil is nice. Daredevil is really, really nice. So let's get in for a closer look at Daredevil. We'll take a look at the 3 different head sculpts. We'll take a look at his accessories and all of that, so we can take a look. But really, really nice. Okay, so here is an up-close look at the Daredevil figure, and it is fantastic. This is kind of the gritty teeth head sculpt there, and as you can see, that looks really good, just kind of all red. The neck got a lot of shading in it. The figure kind of throughout has some shading. It's very subtle, but it's done in a really nice way. But I feel like they went really heavy on the neck, because when you look at the mask is very bright compared to the neck. But that looks good, so it's kind of gritting teeth, a little bit of angry. A little bit of anger in there with Matt Murdock. So let's pop that head off and we'll look at the screaming head sculpt. So this one's really nice. It's got open mouth. It's actually screaming. Now the head, it pops on there, but you don't really feel it pop into there. You just kind of stick it on, and then it's kind of on there. So, but it's secure. It's not going to fall off or anything like that. So just heads up on that. But here we have the screaming head sculpt, and that looks pretty good. I like that. But then we also have the stoic Daredevil Matt Murdock there, and that looks really good. No unmasked head sculpt, unfortunately, but all good there. The figure is just all red, as you can see here, which makes sense because Daredevil wears red. The gloves get a little bit of brighter red. The boots get a little bit of brighter red. We get shading throughout the tights of the suit, which is good. Even on the back, we get a lot of shading, as you can see there, so that is awesome that we got that. We get the sculpted DD for Daredevil right in the front, done in a little bit of brighter red plastic, so that looks good. Then you got the brighter red belt there, and then you just got that black little spot on there. His batons, you can see there's a strap there, but the batons actually just peg into the figure on the side there, and we get a couple of different ones, and I'll show you guys those here shortly. I have one complaint about this figure, and it's a weird one. Notice the waist, and I think this is because, you know, it allows for deeper movement crunching forward. But look at the empty space in this diaper, you know. Oh, I guess I pushed it in and it doesn't look as bad, but it's just kind of out there, so it looks like his pants are a little too big. And I'm sure that's just so it can allow for greater motion. It just looks a little bit weird. It's a super minor thing to complain about, but it just stands out. It's very noticeable, so I thought I'd point that out. But other than that, it's not so bad. Looking at the accessories, we get those 3 head sculpts, and then we get a bunch of extra hands. So out of the package, he's got fists. Then we kind of have these open clawed hands, as you can see there. Then we get these grip hands for the batons there, and you just slide the batons into the hands. We get these wide open hands here. We get these relaxed open hands here, and then we get these straight, chop hands there. The batons, the baton holster, we get a couple of different ones. We got the one, this one comes on the figure out of the package. It's got both batons in place. You can pop that out. And then we have this other one where you only one of the batons has actually been removed. So you can see there. So one baton is still in there on the holster. And then pop that out again. And then here you have the empty holster. So boom. So if you have the baton, you know, if you have this one out of, in use, then this is the one that you'll want on the figure because he only has the one baton set. So you have that. So this is the batons and the grappling system there. But the other one that we have has the grapple hook, the grappling hook to it. So that is really cool there. I think in the comics, though, a lot of times it was red. I'm not sure why we get all white here. So that's just kind of the thing there. And then if you just wanted to grip those batons, you can as well. This one's got, like the handle, the string strap on there. So you have those plain batons there with no wire or anything like that. They don't actually fit into these holsters in any kind of way or anything like that, but you could hold on to them if that's what you want to do while you have this empty one. So those are the accessories for Daredevil. Let's go ahead and get right into the articulation. And it's exactly what you would expect out of Mafex. Really good stuff. Okay, so Daredevil, his head and neck, you can look up that much, which is fantastic. He can look down that much there. I don't know if he's actually looking, though. He's using like a sonar effect because he's blind. He doesn't see. Full rotation in that head. Oh, that came off a little easy. See, it doesn't snap on. Like, it's secured on there, it doesn't fall, but it does come off pretty easily. So just a heads up on that. You can rotate, get some good pivot going on in there with the neck and the head, which is good. The shoulder you can get to go straight on out and upwards at like so. Full rotation in there. You got a butterfly joint so you can get those arms to go back so far, as you can see there. And then crossbody forward, really, really good. Reminds me of Spider-Man with some really good crossbody. Like the comic Captain America, not as good because his shoulders are quite large, and then, the suit just doesn't allow it. But for Daredevil, insane crossbody, which is in there. Upper bicep swivel, which is great. Double jointed elbow. Gives you that much bend there, which is fantastic. Wrists swivel and hinge. There are ball joints, so you can move them around and hinge as needed. We get the diaphragm and ball joint waist on Daredevil. And to be honest, the diaphragm by itself doesn't move. Well, actually, you can get that pretty good, but in conjunction with the waist, ball joint waist, you can tilt to the left that much there. You can tilt all the way to his right that much there, which is fantastic. Going back, and there will be a little bit of gappage, but he can go lean back that far, and then he can come forward this far here. A little bit of gap in the back, and then again, this waist being a little bit larger, it does allow for further crunch forward. There, you get a swivel at that waist. You can swivel that diaphragm a little bit as well. Legs, you get a drop down, and this is actually a really high drop down there. Legs go out that far apart, which is good. Let's see. I want this one go up any higher than that. That's kind of weird. Oh, because the baton holster. So full splits, as you can see there, he can kick forward extremely high up. The leg does go back a little bit there. You get a somewhat of a thigh swivel in there, or you do get a thigh swivel. It's much better than the comic Captain America figure that we just got, so you can get a good swivel in there. Double jointed knee gives you that much bend there. There's no calf swivel or boot swivel of any kind, but you do get a swivel at the ankle, which is good. You know, Cap didn't have that. Foot hinges down that much. You get some good hinge up, toe articulation there, and he's got thicker feet than Captain America. So if you watch my Captain America review, I said Captain America's boots are very thin. Daredevil's are pretty good. One thing that is odd, and I know this is normal, but if you look at the ankle, it looks like the foot actually comes in. I wish the foot would go back a little bit. It would provide a little bit more stability. And yes, like the foot doesn't actually go back, but if you compare it to like Spider-Man, notice how the heel comes further back than the ankle a little bit. Daredevil's does not. It's just basically straight down. It almost feels like it comes forward a little too much. So I think like balancing wise, it works out a little bit better like on Spider-Man compared to Daredevil. Not that this is terrible. It's just, you know, something to take note in. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to get Daredevil into a crazy amount of poses or anything like that, and kind of using the batons and the grappling hook. This is kind of like the best that I can. It's very tricky to me, especially when you have bendy wire like this. It's awesome that you have all this bendy wire to play with, but once you start bending it and start unraveling kind of some of these circles that are kind of already kind of in it, it starts to get a little bit trickier. So I kind of like to kind of do this. So this is kind of the setup for the thumbnail that I did early on before I even started reviewing, but this video clip's going to be later in, obviously. But I wanted to show you guys this. So this is kind of the best that I can do. It's a whole lot of fun when you kind of work with this bendy wire and things like that. And I have some red lights going on in here, but it's just a whole lot of fun kind of going along with this. But you guys let me know what you guys think of this down in the comments below. I'll have a post. Yeah, I mean, you'll see the thumbnail, and then I'll have like a post on Instagram with the better, because looks a little bit darker when I do the picture. Maybe that's it. Well, that's probably not quite right on the balance of the lighting, but yeah, just a lot of fun. That's the point. I rambled. I'm doing it again, but here we go. Okay, so kind of posing around. I got this one. This one's super basic, but it is a whole lot of fun. I'm going to try one or two others, and we'll see if I can make something work. You know what's funny? It's kind of starting to kind of pose around. This is interesting here. So if you can see the baton, how I mentioned like, oh, they're red in the comics or whatever. So they're white here. Like, I have some paint or some of the plastic that's actually kind of peeling off, and it looks like it may have been done in red plastic and then painted white. That's an odd choice, right? And, like, the way the grip hands work, you have to just, like, slip it through. And there's not going to be any paint rub because it's red plastic, right? But if I look, you see the red in there? I think they did this in red plastic and then painted it white. And that's weird, right? That's very strange. Like, if I'm looking up images of Daredevil, most of the time these are shown as red. There are times where they're white, yes, but most of the time, red. I think they should have come with red ones. That would have been cool, but oh well. But who's going to be brave enough to try and strip this and see if it is red plastic? Won't be me, but maybe someone will give it a shot. Okay, so I had to use the Mafex stand to be able to pull this one off, but it always gets tricky with the bendy wire and things like that, and I hate that I kind of undid the ravel. It was all wound up nice and round. But I had to undo that, and so I can kind of get into this pose. This is from, I think, from a particular comic cover, so I just kind of searched up images of Daredevil, and this is something that's kind of there. It's not perfect, recreation of it, but I think it looks okay. So you can get some cool things going on with Daredevil as he's kind of swinging through with his, grappling hooks and the batons and everything there. So a whole lot of fun with Daredevil. But how does he compare to his Marvel Legends counterpart? Let's take a look. It's spoiler alert, he's going to be better. Okay, so here we have the Mafex Daredevil and the Marvel Legends side by side, and as you can see here, they're similar in height. In fact, the Mafex actually is a little bit taller than that Daredevil. Now, that Daredevil head also sat a little bit low on that neck, which was always kind of a weird thing. I like the brighter red of the Mafex compared to the kind of toned down, almost faded look of the Marvel Legends, which I didn't realize it had a faded look to it until I put them side by side with the Mafex. The points of articulation and all those different things, the Mafex is really going to be able to do a lot more because the way the Mafex figures work, the ball joint waist makes a huge difference. The inverted ab and the diaphragm, yeah, that's great for Marvel Legends in most cases. The ball joint at the waist is always going to win over, though, with the diaphragm and the ball joint. It's always going to be better for the most part. There may be some exceptions, but the Mafex definitely wins here. Now, the Marvel Legends, that's not to say that the Marvel Legends is a bad figure. It's a really good figure. It's just a really difficult one for people to have gotten. You either got this one in a 3-pack that was exclusive to Hasbro Pulse that came with Bullseye and Elektra and sold out real quick, or you got it in the VHS 2-pack that came along with Hydro Man, weird 2-pack, but that one sold out because the Daredevil was such a good figure. So yes, if you can get the Marvel Legends at a decent price, pick it up. If you're able to find the Mafex Daredevil around the $100, $105 that it was, like on, I think it was $95 on Big Bad Toy Store. If you can find it for that, or if it becomes available, I would definitely pick up the Mafex because you're going to get a better figure overall. Now, if the Daredevil was a single release for $25, hey, absolutely go for that. Maybe in the future that'll happen. When Daredevil Born Again releases, they'll do a comic, Daredevil release. I would hope they tend to do those sorts of things. Then pick it up. But if you have an opportunity to get the Mafex Daredevil, absolutely go for it. The other thing, having them side by side, is one thing that I thought this at first, but this kind of confirms it to me. His legs are really long. In fact, I think his legs are probably too long now that I look at it. His upper thigh, just shorten it up a little bit, and then just above the boot cut, maybe shorten that up a little bit, and it would be really good, and it would almost bring them closer to the same height. But even with that, the Mafex is still really nice. And because it's fresh, I just reviewed it. Here we have the comic Captain America figure by Mafex. Comic figures, Mafex is killing it. They were doing some X-Men stuff, and I don't really have any. I got the Phoenix figure, Jean Grey. I did get X-Force, Deadpool, and Wolverine, but I missed out on like Cyclops, in the blue and yellow, which would have been great. Tiger Stripe Wolverine or brown suit Wolverine. I wish I could have gotten those at the time. I wish I was into the comic figures then. I just got the Spider-Man figures, and I don't even have villains. But I'm trying to correct that. So as new Mafex Marvel figures are coming out, at both MCU and comic, I'm really starting to pick them up because, man, I'm really liking what Mafex is doing with these figures. So Daredevil, Captain America, as you can see there, they're about the same height. Which is kind of interesting. Daredevil may almost be a little bit taller, and as you can see, his hip and waist is just a lot higher than Captain America, so his legs just a tad too long. Okay, so Daredevil and Spider-Man side by side. I believe Matt Murdock is 5'11", Peter Parker's 5'10". There's some height discrepancy here. Now, I don't know that Mafex has put in all the effort to make sure that they are super, in scale. I think Deadpool and Wolverine kind of made sense. Wolverine was a lot shorter. But the comic figures, or Mafex in general, seems to be making their figures a little bit larger. And maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm noticing that, or maybe because I didn't get as many, I'm not seeing it as much. But what it seems to me is that their figures are tending to be a little bit larger now. So now, this Spider-Man is, I believe, a couple of years old now at this point. Maybe that's kind of what's going on. The Spider-Man figure was just kind of when they were doing them a little bit smaller, but now they tend to be doing figures a little bit bigger and closer to the Marvel Legends size. So maybe that's why Daredevil is significantly larger than Spider-Man, but they should have been roughly about the same height, right? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so that is my review of the Mafex Daredevil figure. Fantastic release by Mafex for sure. Definitely pick it up if you're able to. If it pops up again at Big Bad Toy Store, I will share links. Make sure you're following me on Instagram. I'll share it to my story. I'll share it to my broadcast channel first. That way I can quickly get you guys clickable links. Make sure you are following me there. Make sure you're subscribed to me here on YouTube. Let me know what you guys think of this Mafex Daredevil figure. Is it one that you're looking to replace your Marvel Legends or add to it, or just expanding your Mafex collection? Let me know down in the comments below. Again, fantastic release. Another banger figure. Captain America was awesome. Daredevil even better. Better than the Spider-Man figure too, which is crazy because that Spider-Man is basically like the best Spider-Man figure there is. So that's saying a lot. So now I want Mafex to do another comic Spider-Man, which I'm sure they're going to. Spider-Man 2099 should be coming out next year, available for pre-order. So links in the video description below to like the Captain America. I'll have it to Daredevil in case it comes back up in stock as well. And then links to other Mafex Marvel figures. So let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.